Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. Guys, we are going to cover worldwide earthquakes tonight. We're going to cover earthquakes on the new Madrid Fault, and I have some earthquakes on the East Coast we need to talk about. Okay? North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia are getting hit. Okay, why? Okay, I've explained this before. Let me bring up the USGS map here, just for kicks and giggles here, and let's look at what we have here. Okay, let's bring up the map. Let's take down my webcam. Let's take down our EMA banner here. Okay. Again, here over at the southeastern part of the Kamchatka Peninsula, we have some earthquakes here. We always have earthquakes here. At least we've had for the past almost 2 months now. Okay? But this is still ongoing. It hasn't let up and it's not going to. Okay? What have I said about this? What have I said about this? This is important to remember. These earthquakes are not going away anytime soon. Anytime we have an 8.0 plus earthquake, it's going to cause aftershocks for weeks, months, and even years afterwards. That you need to take to the bank. You need to take that to the bank. It's the truth. Every time I show you earthquakes on the map that were 8.0 and over, it's always been aftershocks for a year, 2, 3, and in one case over in Puerto Rico, it's been 6 years. 6 years. Okay, let's look at these earthquakes here. Over here off the southeastern side of Kamchatka Peninsula, we have a 5.0 earthquake here. 5.0 earthquake here, right there. Off to the east of there, this is a 4.5 moderate earthquake. This is 47 kilometers deep. This 5.0 is 43 kilometers deep. Okay, south of there, this earthquake is a 5.1 earthquake. Okay, 5.1 earthquake. This is 31 kilometers deep. This earthquake is a 5.2. Okay, this earthquake actually happened yesterday evening. Okay, this is 6.2 kilometers deep. Quite a separate event, isn't it? That earthquake hit yesterday, and these other 4 earthquakes hit today. This earthquake here off the southern tip of Kamchatka Peninsula, and technically just north of the Kuril Islands here, this is a 4.8 earthquake, 33 kilometers deep as well. Okay, that's quite a difference, isn't it? All of these earthquakes are going to go up this earthquake fault, this earthquake undersea ridge here. Okay, this is the edge of the plate. These earthquakes are going to make their way over here to the Aleutian Island Fault Zone, which is also the edge of the northern edge of the Pacific Plate here. Then we're going to see that energy transfer over to Alaska. We're going to see this 5.0 energy transfer here to Alaska. Now, I want to make a statement here that everybody needs to remember. Earthquakes here in Alaska. Okay, remember this. Earthquakes here in Alaska. Right here in the Gulf of Alaska, we have a bunch of seismic energy locked and loaded. We have energy locked and loaded here. This has been locked and loaded for quite some time. This is the ticking time bomb. This is a ticking time bomb. When this time bomb goes off, Alaska is going to be in for the ride of its life. It's going to be in for the ride of its life. Some of this energy is also going to go up here into the Cook Inlet. This is the Cook Inlet, this body of water between the Kamchatka Peninsula and even Kodiak Island here. all the way up here to Anchorage and beyond, okay, the Cook Inlet. Some of this energy could go up here as well. We've seen it happen before. Back during the summer of 2019, Anchorage suffered a 7.1 earthquake. Okay, prior to that, we had had seismic energy over on the Kamchatka Peninsula. That energy came up here into Anchorage a week later and hit here. 7.1 earthquake caused massive damage, power outages, and everything else. Okay, those people suffered. It's going to happen again. It's a matter of time. Just a matter of time. Okay. Now, most of the earthquakes you see here are in southern Alaska. Okay. One of the largest earthquakes here is a 2.1 up here north of Denali National Park. Okay. This is Minchumina, Alaska. Minchumina, Alaska. It's a 2.1 minor earthquake. Okay. 2.1 minor earthquake. I don't believe we have any more than 30, 35 earthquakes today here in Alaska itself. Okay. Now, we talked about the North Pacific here. Let's go down here to the south. Vietnam got hit today. Okay. This is a 4.6 earthquake here. Okay. This is Tre My, Vietnam. Okay. 6.2 miles deep. Okay. Further over here in Afghanistan, there are 4 quakes here in Afghanistan today. 3.5, 3.7, 4.2, and 4.7 earthquakes here in Afghanistan. Why? Because, guys, just over a week and a half ago, we had a 6.0 earthquake here that was a very shallow quake. We're still seeing aftershocks here. As I reported earlier this week on Monday, these people are still suffering greatly. Greatly. Okay? Nearly 5,000 people have been unalived, and nearly 5,000 people have also been injured from this quake in Afghanistan. We're going to continue to monitor this, and I will probably have a larger report on this on Friday. Okay? But they're still getting hit here. Now, I'm going to go over here to Greece. I want to go over here to Greece. Okay? Over here in Greece, there are 40 earthquakes here in Greece, all around mainland Greece here. All around mainland Greece going up here to the north. 40 earthquakes. USGS shows none. Not a single one of them. Okay? Let me bring up my device and show you exactly what I mean. Some of you have asked me to show my device when I show these earthquakes, or tell you about these earthquakes. That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to show you exactly what's going on here. USGS continues to not want to show what's happening. I'm going to do that. Look at this, guys. That's Greece. Lots of earthquakes. Over here in the Aegean Sea, look at that. Earthquakes here. Why? I've explained this before. This area here in the Aegean Sea has magma down beneath the surface of the ocean. Okay? Down in the crust of the earth. There's magma moving down there. The magma is hitting bedrock and fracturing the rock here in the bedrock, causing earth movement, i.e. earthquakes. These earthquakes are minor tremors so far right now. They have been larger. They have been much larger. Okay? But right now, those are just minor tremors here. Let's go over here to Turkey. I want to go over here and talk about Turkey. Look at all the earthquakes here in Turkey. This is all because we had a 7.4 earthquake here not that long ago. Yesterday, they had over 200 earthquakes here in northwestern Turkey. That's going to continue. Most of these earthquakes in Turkey are 1.2, 1.7, 2.2, 2.7, all the way up to 3.5 and 3.57 earthquakes. Northwestern Turkey. Okay, that area is still trying to settle down after a major earthquake there a while back. Southern Turkey also has its share of earthquakes as well. I'm going over eastern Turkey. There's a reason. Okay. Over 2.5 years ago, February 3rd, 2023, we had a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake here. There are 32 earthquakes here in this region here. 32 aftershocks today. Okay, this is over 2 years ago. We're still seeing aftershocks. Okay, it's ongoing. It's not going to stop. It's literally not going to stop. Let's go over and look at Italy. Okay, I've told you about the Vesuvius volcano here. Guess what? Today, we have a 1.0 tremor here at the Vesuvius volcano. 1.0 tremor here at the Vesuvius volcano. Let's move the USGS map over here so I can show you what's going on. Look at that. They don't show anything here. They don't show anything. There's the Vesuvius volcano, and it's steaming. The Vesuvius volcano is steaming. And I believe there's more earthquakes here than they're showing on the European map as well. Okay. This whole area around the Vesuvius volcano has urbanized. There's millions of people living here now. Literally millions of people all around the volcano. Down here to the southeast. Out here to the east. Out here to the north. Out here to the southwest or northwest. These people are going to be hurting when this volcano does erupt. And yes, there have been other earthquakes all around here. Now, one of the things you need to know, look at all these vents here. These are former vents when the volcano previously erupted. Yes, it can still happen. And yes, we've had earthquakes all around these areas where these vents are. Okay? We can still see an eruption there as well. Okay? It's active. But USGS is still not showing earthquakes here. Not showing any earthquakes. Why not? Off the northern shore of Italy, off the southern northern shore of Italy here, we have two volcanoes. Mount Etna volcanoes here, and one other one here, Stromboli volcanoes. Both of them are active, and both of those volcanoes are moving. They're erupting. Now, the USGS is not showing anything here. Well, guess what? Here is a 2.2 earthquake here. This just shows you what the U.S. agencies not telling us. Then we go over here to north central Italy here. 32 earthquakes here. They're not telling us about here either. Okay? They move this map here. They're not telling us about any of these other earthquakes here. Nothing. Northern Italy. Northern Italy right here. Romagna, Italy. We have a 2.4 earthquake here. 2.4 minor earthquake here. Okay? Let's go over here to the southwest here. Okay, over to the southwest. This area here is a resort area of Italy. Okay, Liguria, Italy. This is a 0.8 microquake here. No microquakes are not felt. Minor earthquakes are not felt, but 3.0 and large earthquakes are. That doesn't apply here. This is only a microquake here. 0.8 microquake over here in the resort area of Italy. Now let's go up into the Alps Mountains. Okay, the Italian Alps up here. This is a 1.0 tremor here in the Italian Alps here. Okay, let's go over here to the southern Italy, South Italy Alps here. Okay, actually this is, they say this is France, so let's go with France. We have a 0.7 and a 2.4 earthquake over here in the Alps of France, Southern Alps of France. Let's go further north. Switzerland. We have a 1.5 tremor here in the Swiss Alps. Further north. Obergolms, Switzerland. This is a 0.4 microquake. Okay, further north. This is also Switzerland, Kloster Cineris, Switzerland, a 1.0 tremor. Still here in the Alps, we go a 1.0 tremor here. This is Germany. One more. Here is Austria. This is a 2.0 earthquake in Austria. 2.0 minor earthquake here in the Austrian Alps. The Alps are moving. The Alps mountains are moving. Now, over in the flatland, the farmlands of France, we have 1.5 and also a 2.1 minor earthquake here, just north of the Alps here in Switzerland, or France, I said. I'm sorry, France. 2.1 and a 1.7 tremor over here in France right there. Okay, down south. The Rhone Alps of France, the Rhone River. This is also a 2.0 earthquake. Right? Let's go further south, still in France. That's a 2.1. Further south, we have three more earthquakes here. We have a 2.0 and a 1.6 here. Then down here at the border region of Spain and France, we have a 1.6 tremor here. Let's go down to southern Spain, southeastern Spain. We have a 1.5, we have a 1.6, we have a 2.3 earthquake there. Further to the south here, we have a 2.3 and a 2.4 earthquake down here near the Strait of Gibraltar. 2.3 and a 2.4 earthquake here in southern Spain near the Strait of Gibraltar. Okay, what's up here in northern Portugal? Northern Portugal, we have a 1.8 and a 1.6 tremor here. 1.8 and a 1.6 tremor here in northern Portugal. The area is moving. Europe is moving. But again, guess what? The USGS really doesn't care. They're not showing anything here. Not squat. Not squat. Okay? Let's go over here into Scandinavia. I want to go over here to southern Norway. Southern Norway. We have a 1.1 and a 1.0 tremor there over here in Viken, Norway. Viken, Norway. Over in central Norway, this is a 1.7 tremor here. Let's go up here to the border area of Norway and Sweden. This is Norrbotten, or northern county of Sweden here, this is actually a 2.0 earthquake here. 2.0 minor earthquake up here at the border region of Norway and Sweden here, and Norrbotten, Sverige. Sverige, they call Sweden Sverige. Sveriga, Sverige. Over here in Finland, this is a 1.70 tremor in Finland. But we don't stop there. We don't stop there. Let's go over to Iceland. Good old Iceland. Iceland, just north of the Reykjanes Peninsula. This is a 2.2 earthquake here. Guess what it's on? The Mid-Atlantic Fault. The Mid-Atlantic Fault. At some point in time, that Mid-Atlantic Fault is going to divide Iceland. The Mid-Atlantic Fault is expanding. The Mid-Atlantic Fault is going like this. As a result, at some point in time, I'm not going to say it's going to be now. I'm not going to say it's going to be within the next 5 or 10 years, but it's going to happen at some point. The Mid-Atlantic Fault is going like this. It's going to divide Iceland. It will divide Iceland. But we're not done yet. We're not done yet. Guess what? Let's go back up to Svalbard. Let's go up to Svalbard up here. Right up here. On the western side of Svalbard. This is a 2.9 3.0 earthquake here. 2.9 3.0 earthquake here. Not to be outdone, there's one more here. This is a 3.7 in the Greenland Sea. So we have a 2.4 and a 3.7 earthquake here on this great big huge Mid-Atlantic Fault. And this is in the Greenland Sea here. Okay. So again, the U.S. agency's not showing much of anything, are they? Nope. They never do. They literally never do. Okay? For kicks and giggles. A bunch of kicks and giggles. South America. They're showing us 2 earthquakes. One here, northern Chile here. Guess what? This is a 4.3 earthquake at the border region of Bolivia and Chile. 4.3 moderate earthquake, 161 kilometers deep. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. That's moderately deep. Let's go north here. Northern Peru. This is the 5.0 earthquake here in northern Peru. But let me show you something. Let me show you something. They're showing us 2 earthquakes, a large one in northern Peru, and then one over at the Chile-Bolivia border. Look at this. "32 earthquakes here in South America. 32 earthquakes here in South America. What agencies reporting these? This is the European agency, EMSC. We have another earthquake down here off the coast in the Drake Passage. Remember the Drake Passage? We had a 7.4 earthquake here just the other day, about 2.5 weeks ago. The USGS says nothing about it. Look at this. That's a minor 2.8 earthquake. Minor 2.8 earthquake down here in the Drake Passage. Look at all the earthquakes here in Chile alone. 34 earthquakes here. Go figure. 34 earthquakes. Some of those earthquakes going over here to southern Peru. Tacna, Peru. This is the 3.8 earthquake near Sabancaya volcano. That's a 3.8 small earthquake here near Sabancaya volcano. Sabancaya volcano is active. It's moving. It's erupting. 3.8 earthquake there. Right next to it, Pernicola, Chile. Pernicola, Chile. 2.8 earthquake. Then we go up here to have a 5.0 up here in northern Chile, or northern Peru, I should say. Northern Peru, going into Colombia. 3.0 earthquake near Santander, Colombia. Santander, Colombia. Okay? 3.0 earthquake. But not to be down up here along the northwestern shore of Colombia, we have a 2.5. Then let's go into Venezuela. We're not done. We have a 2.9 and a 2.1 earthquake here in Venezuela. 2.9, 2.1 earthquake, minor earthquake in Venezuela. Two more, actually 3 more here. Okay? This is a 2.8. Over here, we have a 3.2 and a 3.6 earthquake there. 3.2 and 3.6 earthquake here on the peninsula here in Venezuela. But not to be outdone. St. Lucia, Lesser Antilles Islands. 3.5 earthquake here in St. Lucia Islands here. 3.5. But not to be outdone. Guess what? Look at the swarm of earthquakes at the U.S. Virgin Islands. Let me read to you the magnitudes of these earthquakes. That's a 4.01. Going south, a 3.8, 3.1, 2.8, 3.8, and a 3.86. So we have a bunch of 3s and one 2.8 earthquake here in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Okay? The Caribbean's moving, isn't it? It absolutely is. Then let's go over here to Puerto Rico. I want to show you Puerto Rico here. Okay? Why do I want to show you Puerto Rico? Because we have two earthquakes down here in the southwestern part of Puerto Rico Island. 2 earthquakes here. Why? Why do you think we have 2 earthquakes here? These 2 earthquakes, ladies and gentlemen, are aftershocks of an 8.0 and an 8.4 earthquake that happened December 26th and December 28th, 2019. 2 earthquakes here, aftershocks. This one southeast of Indios, Puerto Rico, is a 2.7. That's a 2.7. Further over here to the west, Arguera, Puerto Rico. This is a 2.4 earthquake here. Both of these earthquakes are a result and aftershocks of a 8.0 and an 8.4 earthquake that hit on December 26th and December 28th, 2019. This is why I'm telling you, Anytime you have an earthquake, a major earthquake above 7.0, you're going to have aftershocks for a long time period after that. That's what we're seeing down here in Puerto Rico. Northwest of Puerto Rico, up here between the Cayman Ridge and Puerto Rico. This is a 3.2 earthquake. That's a 3.2 earthquake. Where did this come from? It came off that earthquake fault just to the north. Now, just about 4 years ago, we had a major hurricane, Hurricane Maria, that came blowing into Puerto Rico to the south. That same night, in this same area right here where you see this 3.2, we had a 6.7 magnitude earthquake hit right there. This may even be an aftershock of that 6.7 earthquake that hit that night northwest of Puerto Rico here. Okay, this Cayman Ridge, huge earthquake fault. That huge earthquake fault comes out of Guatemala and proceeds east. Let's take a look at that Cayman Ridge. Okay, I want to show you what happens. Comes out of Guatemala, goes out here in the Caribbean. Then it takes a distinct left-hand turn going north. And that's only maybe 100 miles. Then it turns eastbound again. Here it goes south and east of the Cayman Islands here. The Cayman Islands right there. It continues eastbound and skirts the coast of Cuba here. Okay, goes over Jamaica, skirts the southern coast of Cuba here. There's Jamaica right down here. Cuba's right there. It continues its trek eastbound. Okay, this is Haiti and the Dominican Republic. Just north of Haiti and the Dominican Republic here. Then it continues its trek eastbound. Okay, north of Puerto Rico and north of the U.S. and British Virgin Islands here. It continues its trek eastbound out here in the Atlantic Ocean. Then guess what? Then there is a major turn to the south here in the Western Antilles. It skirts out here down south to the western, on the eastern side of the Western Antilles Islands, and it continues its way south until it gets over here to Venezuela. Then it goes west into Venezuela. The Cayman Ridge earthquake fault. That's why we have earthquakes out here. This is why we have earthquakes out here. Even over here into Venezuela. Okay? I'm just giving you a little history here. A little geography lesson here. Okay? Now, I want to go back up here into the Pacific Northwest. Then we're going to go over to the Madrid Fault. And on this map, you see an earthquake on the Madrid Fault. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Okay? We're still seeing earthquakes up here in the Pacific Northwest, around Vancouver Island, over here in Vancouver, Canada, right there. Now, guess what? The USGS says this is a 1.2 tremor. 6 miles northeast of Abbotsford, Canada. Really? Let's take a look at it. Okay, there is no quarry here. This is a mountainous tree-filled region. A mountainous tree-filled region. Why would we have a tremor, an explosion here? It's not likely. it's very unlikely that we would have an explosion out here. Let's look here. Guys, what do we have here? What do we have here? Guess what? We have a volcano. Chadsey Lake volcano. Chadsey Lake volcano. The summit of that volcano is right here. It's an island in the lake. Where else have we seen this? Mono Lake, California. Same thing. See it all the time. Pyramid Lake, Northern California. This is not an explosion. This may very well be magma moving beneath the surface. This is not an explosion. This is a tremor, a 1.2 tremor here. Don't let USGS lie to you. Let's not let USGS lie to us. Not an explosion. Not an explosion at all. Now, one of our dear friends here, one of our own guys here, who just happens to be one of our mods here, guess what? And yes, I'm trying to find it right now. I do have it here. Just got to find it. I found it. I found it. That's not an explosion. It could be. Spontaneous combustion carnivorous, an exploding tree. Our dear friend Demon Catman, who just happens to be a moderator on this channel, he made me this meme. Get prepared for the unexpected earthquake. Spontaneous combustion carnivorous, an exploding tree out here near Abbotsford, Canada. This may very well be magma beneath the surface here, headed towards that volcano. It's happened before. It's going to happen again. You can guarantee it. You can guarantee it. Now let's go south. I just love this. I get thrills out of this. Now, I'm not going to go too far with this, okay? I promise you I will not go too far with this. Guess what? We have another exploding tree here. Spontaneous combustion carnivorous near Shelton, Washington. Spontaneous combustion carnivorous near Shelton, Washington. 7 miles south-southeast of Shelton, Washington. 1.1 explosion. Really? Take a look at this. Look at this. It's in the river. It's over here in the river. How could this be an explosion in the river? Again, when USGS puts these explosions here on the map, it's my contention that they don't even look at it. They just throw this on the map. How can there be an explosion in the river unless there's a riverboat here or another boat here on the river going boom? It's impossible. It's impossible, guys. There's no way in heck. I just love showing you guys these things. Okay? I hate like heck putting USGS in a barrel with a bunch of nuts. But that's basically where it's at. The United States Geological Survey is in a boat full of nuts. Okay? I don't even believe that they know what they're doing. I don't even believe they know what they're doing anymore. Sad. Sad. Let's go up here, okay? Waterville, Washington. This is a 2.5 magnitude earthquake. 2.5 magnitude earthquake here. Guess what? This area is a volcanic field. The last time the volcano, actually several volcanoes, number one to the north, Mount Baker, number two to the south, Glacier Peak, and number three, further to the south and west, we have Mount Rainier. When those volcanoes last erupted, they put out a huge lava field for miles and miles and miles. Guess what? That's exactly what this place is right here. It's a lava field. Waterville, Washington. A 2.5 earthquake here. Okay? Then we go south here. We go south right here. Sorry, I pulled you too far south. This is Ellensburg, Washington. Ellensburg, Washington. What most people don't know, Ellensburg could in and of itself be a volcano. Ellensburg could in and of itself be a volcano. Why? Because they have done the research. Not just USGS, but the Washington State University system. They sent seismologist engineers out here. They found that this area might be moving again. There could be a volcano underneath this area here. There could be a volcano underneath this area here. This is the 2.0 earthquake here in Ellensburg, Washington. 5 miles south of Ellensburg, Washington. Okay? Now, why do I say that? Look at these vents. Look at all these vents here. Vents all over this area. Vents all over this area. Okay? As I said, I've looked at the data. There could be a volcano over here near Ellensburg. The vents tell the story. The vents leaked out here when there was an eruption. The vents let loose with a lot of lava here. This is a lava field. Let's go over here to Mount Rainier. Good old Mount Rainier. What do we have here? USPS says we have an earthquake. A 0.6 microquake. This is 2 miles deep, just over 2 miles deep, inside the volcano. Again, Mount Rainier is going to erupt. There is enough evidence for you, and we're going to do this on Thursday, tomorrow. We're going to look at the volcanoes. I'm going to show you seismograms showing what's going on with these volcanoes. Mount Rainier and even Mount St. Helens are looking like they're going to erupt. I've shown you the data on this for several months now. Several months. This is still happening. For the United States Geological Survey did not show the data. It's not just embarrassing, it's bad. Plausible deniability. They don't want to admit what's going on here. Heaven forbid they tell us what's exactly happening. They're not going to do it. Again, plausible deniability. They're not going to tell anybody what's happening until it's way too late. Sad. A sad commentary on our own people here. Sad commentary, guys. Let's go south here. Okay? Right here near Rife Lake. There's a lot of fish over here. My buddy Captain Ned fishes this area. Mossy Rock, Washington. East-southeast of Mossy Rock, Washington. This is the 1.6 tremor. This is 0.1 microquake. 10 over 10 miles deep, almost 10.5 miles deep. This one is over 13.5 miles deep. A magma chamber here, guys. A magma chamber headed over to the volcanoes. Mount Rainier to the north, Mount St. Helens down to the south. And yes, we have earthquakes at Mount St. Helens. Again, this is just what they want us to see. Nothing more. But there are more. Again, tomorrow we're going to show you more. This is a small swarm of earthquakes. Minus 0.2 microquakes, supposedly. Above sea level. Minus numbers indicate above sea level, guys. Guess what? This is 3.4 miles deep. It's neither above sea level at all. It's not a minus number. 0.2 microquake, period. They're saying this is a minus 0.1. 4.6 miles deep here. This is not above sea level either. 0.1 microquake. Right here. They're calling this as another minus 0.1. This is 4.5 miles deep here. Another minus 0.1 here. 4.6 miles deep. Down inside of the volcano. Right here. All of these earthquakes, guys, all of these earthquakes are inside the crater at St. Helens. This is a 0.3. Okay, USGS has gladly labeled this as 0.3. Why did they not label the others as 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4, rather than giving them mislabeled numbers? This is a 0.3 microquake here, 4.1 miles deep. Go figure. Down here further east, over here on the eastern flank of Mount St. Helens, they're calling this a surface quake, a 0.0 surface quake. Guess what? It's not. This is also 4 miles deep. This is not a surface quake at all. Thank you for those hearts out here on our chat. Someone just gave us a bunch of hearts, which I greatly appreciate. I'm showing you what's going on. because the USGS is lying to the public. Out and out lying to the public. Out here to the west of Mount St. Helens, this is a 0.3 microquake here, 7 miles deep. This is a 0.2, 6.4 miles deep, just over 10 kilometers deep. Unreal. Unreal. Let's go down here to Mount Hood. They're showing this 0.5 microquake. They're saying it is 2 miles northeast of Mount St. Helens, or not Mount St. Helens, 2 miles, 2.2 miles northeast of Government Camp. Government Camp is not 2.2 miles away from this earthquake. Government Camp is right down here. Government Camp is down here in the foothills of Mount Hood. I don't believe that is 2 miles, 2.2 miles northeast of Government Camp. This might be 1.5 miles northwest of Government Camp. Not north and northeast at all. Again, you see where this is. It's labeled north-northeast. It's north-northwest. It's not 2 miles or even 2.2 miles north-northeast. It's over here to the west, northwest of Mount Hood. And again, it's not the only earthquake or tremor happened to occur here. There are a bunch of them. There are a bunch of them. And yet the agency still doesn't want to admit to anything. Plausible deniability. How about that? Down here, Cascadia, Oregon. Cascadia, Oregon here. They're saying this is another explosion here. Fabulous. But again, it's not an explosion. This is a 1.1 tremor here. This is 1.1 tremor here in a forested area. Nowhere even close to being in an area that would explode. Unless, again, unless we have an exploded tree. Unless we have an exploded tree. Spontaneous combustus carnivorous. Thank you again, Demon Catman. I just love it. I love all you mods. If I haven't already said it yet, I love you mods. I love you greatly. We have the best moderators in the business. We have the best moderators in the business. We have the best EMA family in the business, guys. All my friends are here. Laura Marie here is from Oregon. She says she's canning. Laura Marie, I'd sure love to be there canning with you. That'd be a blast. She's canning tomatoes. She's always preparing. Laura Marie, you're awesome. Thank you for doing what you're doing and blessing your family's lives. I've known Laura Marie for a lot of years. She's a great lady. She's a real great lady, guys. There's almost no better. There's almost no better. I couldn't be luckier to have a friend like Laura and all of you with me. You guys are awesome. You really are. You guys are what they call the cat's meow. My cat's meow. I love you guys. I really do. Anyway, that's here in Oregon. Let's go off the coast of Port Orford, Oregon. Today, here off the coast of Port Orford, Oregon, guess what? We have a 1.5 tremor over here just west of the Cascadia subduction zone. Just west of the Cascadia subduction zone. 1.5 tremor here. 3 miles deep. Then further south over here near the Gorda Ridge. This is a 2.7 earthquake. What did we have yesterday? What did we have here yesterday? A 6.4 earthquake. Actually, it was the night before last. 6.4 earthquake, they downgraded to 5.8. Interesting. This is a 2.7 aftershock. 6.2 miles deep, 10 kilometers deep. Okay. Over here on the Gorda Ridge also. Another 2.6 earthquake. 6.2 miles, 10 kilometers deep. Place is still rocking. Those are aftershocks, by the way. Further down here to the south, right here, the Triple Junction, guys, just barely west of the Triple Junction. We have another 3.0 earthquake. This is a third of a mile deep. A third of a mile deep here, guys. No joke. We had a series of earthquakes here yesterday at this same location. Okay? The earthquakes are still happening. Okay? A 3.0 earthquake. Over here on the San Andreas Fault. Again, the San Andreas Fault starts up here at the Triple Junction. The Triple Junction, which includes the Cascadia subduction zone, the Gorda Escarpment out here to the west, and the San Andreas Fault. This is a 2.5 earthquake on the San Andreas Fault. Also right here is another 1.4 tremor here. The Earth is still moving over here on the southern end of the Cascadia subduction zone. I gave you guys a lesson on the Cascadia earthquake yesterday and a lesson on what's happening with the San Andreas Fault. The entire plate region here is moving. The Pacific plate, the Cascadia subduction zone, the Juan de Fuca Fault, it's all moving. Yes, we're going to have a major earthquake here very soon. Previous productions of this program, I said, probably within the next 5 years. I'm standing by that. It could happen a lot sooner than that, though. Just so you know. Let's go across the plate here to the New Madrid Fault. What do we have here? What do you have here? Jonesboro, Illinois. Jonesboro, Illinois. Fancy that. This is a 1.6 tremor here. 1.6 tremor here on the northern part of the Cascadia subduction zone. I'm going to show you earthquakes here in Illinois. Unfortunately, the agency has shut down the seismographs over here in Indianapolis, Springfield, Illinois. They shut down the seismographs, so we have no data here. I'm attempting now to find more seismographs in this region so we can show you the earthquakes. because the San Andreas, or the New Madrid Fault here, goes to the north and over here further to the northeast. Okay? There are earthquakes here. There are a bunch of earthquakes over here in Missouri, which is the center of the New Madrid Fault, and over here in Arkansas, Tennessee, Mississippi, and down here to the south in Louisiana. I'm going to show you earthquakes tonight in all of these states because the New Madrid Fault is moving, and it's moving in a big way. I said in previous episodes of this program that I believe, and I can substantiate that, and I believe I already have, that we may have a New Madrid earthquake to the tune of an 8.0 or greater earthquake within the next 2 years. In the past, I've shown you data to prove that. Tonight, I'm going to show you even more data. I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. It's going to happen. And it's going to happen in a big way. Okay? Okay, I'm taking down the USGS map. We're talking about the New Madrid Fault now. Okay? I want you to realize what's going on. This is Catfish Pond, Arkansas, right on top of the east side of the New Madrid. Catfish Pond, Arkansas. What have we seen here? We've seen full-blown earthquakes here before. Today, we are seeing tremors. We're seeing 1.0, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5 tremors here. Catfish Pond, Arkansas. This is real. This is real. Catfish Pond, Arkansas this afternoon. Look at this. This is real. What have we seen here? What have we seen here, guys? Let's take a look at it, okay? Yes, just after 12 noon, which is the top black line here, 12 noon on the left-hand side. On the next line, the red line, is also 12:15. We still see a bunch of tremors here. All kinds of tremors this afternoon. But what happened after 12:45 on this green line here? About 12:46, 12:47, we see a bunch of tremors. Then after that, the tremors get larger. In less than 20, 30 seconds, we had a 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. Then it became a 2.8 earthquake. Then we had a 3.0 earthquake here. 12:48 a.m., or I'm sorry, 12:48 p.m. today, this afternoon, Central Daylight Time, we had a 3.0 earthquake here. And after that, all we had here were tremors. Now, this is just before I came on the air. Okay? I pulled this diagram just after 3:45 our time. You see what happened? Okay? You're seeing all kinds of activity here. A 3.0 earthquake here at Catfish Pond, Arkansas. And that's nothing. Wait just a minute till I show you more. Atachikun, Arkansas. Atachikun, Arkansas. Look at this, guys. This is the first time I've shown you this seismogram before. I've never shown this to you, but look what's happening here. This is just southeast of Jonesboro, Arkansas. Southeast of Jonesboro, Arkansas, on the western side of the Madrid Fault. This is just not more than like 150 miles west of the New Madrid. Yes, you see tremors here. You're seeing some 2.0 earthquakes, but you're also seeing large earthquakes than that. Okay? That black earthquake here on the right-hand side, that's a 2.5, 2.6 earthquake. The red earthquake here is just after 11:43 a.m. this morning. Again, a 2.4, 2.5 earthquake, both of them. Unreal, huh? I found it this morning. I wanted to make sure you saw that. But it doesn't up there. Look at what I found as well. What happened here, guys? What happened here? Just about 12:29 p.m. 12:29 p.m. over here on the right on the red line. 2.5, 2.6 earthquake here. Then almost silence. Microquakes, 1.0 tremor. Then we come over here to 1 p.m. Good old 1 p.m. 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. Then seconds later, we had a 3.0. Kamchatka, Arkansas. About 100 miles southeast of Jonesboro, Arkansas. When I was over here in Arkansas, we did a disaster drill here in 2011, marking a 200-year anniversary of the Madrid Fault moving in a big way. When I was there, the first day we were in active full drill mode. We went real world for a short period of time. We went real world from drill world. Why? Because we had 3.2, 3.5, and 3.7 earthquakes off of the northern eastern part of Arkansas and the 3.7 over in southeastern Oklahoma. Yeah. Some of our team was in Tulsa, Oklahoma that day because we were drilling as if the earthquake was going to hit that day. Now, that was in 2011. We had not seen that size of an earthquake in or on the Madrid Fault ever before. It hadn't happened. All the tremor activity here is just tremors. 1.0, 1.2, 1.3, 1.5 tremors. When I started this program in April of 2019, we were only seeing 1.0, 1.2, 1.5 tremors. Earthquakes here along the Madrid Fault didn't start hitting until about a year and a half ago. Then we started seeing 2.0 minor earthquakes, 2.5 minor earthquakes. Then about 6 months later, we had our first 3.0 small earthquake. Since then, We've had 3.0s, we've had 3.5s, we've even had some 4.5 earthquakes here on the New Madrid Fault. The New Madrid Fault is moving, guys. Guaranteed. Guaranteed, I can testify to it because I am showing you the data here. At least once a week, I show this data to you. That way you can see what's happening. Yes, we have seen 2 3.0 earthquakes here near Hachikun, Arkansas, 100 miles southeast of Jonesboro, Arkansas. Again, when we did the disaster drill on the anniversary of the earthquake, we were there for an entire week doing the drill, making sure that emergency managers up and down the entire fault zone, we made sure that sheriff's deputies, police officers, federal police officers, medical personnel, and politicians were part of the drill. That way, everybody would know what's going on. That way, everybody could know what's going on and be preparing for the real earthquake. That was the whole premise of doing the disaster drill on the anniversary of the New Madrid earthquake. Here today, 3 earthquakes, 2.8, 2.9, 3.0 several minutes later, or just several moments later, literally seconds later. Then 14 minutes later, another 3.0 earthquake occurred. 1:14 p.m. this afternoon. After that, yes, we had tremors. And we had a 1.7 tremor after that. After one, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1:38 p.m. this afternoon. Then at 1:51 p.m., we had another 2.4 earthquake on the green line there. Again, this is activity on the New Madrid Fault, guys. The earthquake is moving. This earthquake fault is moving. That's what we're talking about today. I want to make sure that everybody here is prepared. Yes, we have EMA family members here on and around the New Madrid Fault. I'm going to ask each and every one of you to share this program widely. Make sure everybody here talks about this quake to their friends, their neighbors, your family, your extended family, because you guys have relatives and friends that live here on the New Madrid Fault. Do you guys have friends and know people who live here on the New Madrid Fault? We need to get this word out. Yes, I'm going to post this on my social media. I would ask you to do the same. Tell your family, your extended family, your neighbors, your friends, the people you work with, and also the people you associate with here on social media. Spread this word far and wide. The New Madrid Fault is probably going to pop within the next 2 years. We've seen it go from minor tremors, very tiny tremors, all the way up to small and moderate earthquakes within the past 2.5 years. 3 years ago, it wasn't happening. Yes, we had some 3s here back in 2011. That was a one-chance deal. It hadn't happened after that. I don't think it's happened before that. I'm telling you what's going on. This is a constant buildup of pressure on the new Madrid Fault. Everybody should know about it. But we're not done. We're not done. Let's just go a little bit further south to Marktree, Arkansas. Marktree, Arkansas today. Look what we're showing you guys. This is real. This is very real. Okay? The top line here at the top on the black line is midnight last night. After that, we do see some tremors. Quite a few tremors. Even 4 and 5 a.m. we saw tremors here. What happened after 5:30? 5:31 tremors. 5:32 more tremors. 5:33 the tremors are getting larger. 5:34 the tremors are getting larger. And 5:35. All of a sudden we were having minor earthquakes. 2.4, 2.5, 2.7, 2.8, 3.0 earthquakes. 3.0 earthquakes were had for 1, 2, 3 minutes. 3 minutes worth of 3.0 small earthquakes. Yes, it could have been 3.1, 3.2, but 3 minutes worth of small 3.0 earthquakes. Earthquakes rattling underneath your feet. In fact, you can see it here. And after that, we had more tremors and more minor earthquakes. Okay? Happening. After 6:30 this morning, more minor earthquakes here. Then what happens after 8, I'm going to say 8:20, 8:23, 8:24 this morning on this red line? 2.9, 3.0 earthquake again. It didn't stop. It hasn't stopped. You see tremors again after that. 10:16 this morning, another 3.0 earthquake. About 40 minutes later, another 2.9, 3.0. Then we come over here to the blue line. Okay? This blue line here is 10:30 in the morning. At just before 10:38, we had another 3.0 earthquake. Multiple 3.0 earthquakes, one after the other, back to back. And more tremors. Then I want to take you down to the green line below that, 10:45. At 10:46, we had a bunch more tremors. The tremors died down to 1.2, 1.3. They came over here to about 10:56, 10:57 this morning. Again, they build up to 1.0, 1.2, 1.3. Then at 11 a.m., 11 a.m. here, we had another 3.0 earthquake. And you can see the sequence over here on the bottom left-hand side on that black line. Then on the next red line beneath that, this is 11:18 a.m. Tremors building up. Just a few seconds later, we had a 3.0 earthquake again. Multiple 3.0 earthquakes in a sequence, lasting about 15 seconds. Okay? Martree, Arkansas. This is not the first time we've had small earthquakes here in Martree, Arkansas. We used to see a lot more than that. We used to see 5 to 10 3.0 and large earthquakes here at Martree, Arkansas every day. Every morning. Every morning. And more after 12 noon. Let's look at Martree, Arkansas this afternoon. Right here. Look what happened here. Off the charts here. I shouldn't say off the charts because it's not off the charts. But it's troubling. Because the people here in Martree, Arkansas felt several of these earthquakes. They felt several of these earthquakes. No, it's not possible for anybody unless they're very talented and they're very perceptive. They might feel a 2.8 earthquake, but they are going to feel 3.0 earthquakes here. And there have been. After approximately 12:49 p.m. today, another 3.0 earthquake. Just over a minute later, another 3.0 earthquake. And minor earthquakes after that. Then I want you to drop down here to 2:30 this afternoon on the blue line. 2:30 this afternoon, we have more earthquakes, more tremors here. Okay? At approximately 2:36 p.m. here, you see another 3.0 earthquake. 3 minutes later, 2:39, you see another 3.0 earthquake. And after that, you see minor tremors and minor earthquakes and more. Martree, Arkansas, guys. It's happening. Martree, Arkansas is moving, guys. Moving in a big way. But I'm not done. Let's go over to Truman, Arkansas, south of Martree. Look what's happening here at Truman. The same thing, guys. Yes, we started off this morning at the top here, which is midnight. Truman, Arkansas. For hours, literally. Over 5 hours later, all we had was tremors. What happened after 6 a.m. this morning? (6:09) this morning. Tremors building up to 2.4, 2.5 earthquakes. 2.6, 2.7 earthquakes. Then all of a sudden, we have more 3.0 earthquakes here. Truman, Arkansas. Up until about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we didn't have small earthquakes here. Yes, we had minor earthquakes here and tremors. Yes, we did. Now we have graduated to multiple 3.0 earthquakes here at Truman, Arkansas. That was this morning. Look at all the earthquakes here this morning. Truman, Arkansas is also moving, which means the entire seismograph is going off all over between, say, Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, Mississippi. Everything's moving. The entire fault lane's moving here, guys. That's the point of this. The entire fault line is moving. Yes, people are feeling this, but the agency's still denying it. The agency's still denying it, or they would post the earthquakes on the USGS map. They know this is going on. They know this is going on. Let's go further south to Tyrons, Arkansas. Tyrons, Arkansas. Guess what? We've never seen 3.0 earthquakes until today in Tyrons, Arkansas. That's why we're talking about this right now. Yes, we had seen minor earthquakes here. 2.0, 2.8, 2.9 minor earthquakes that we've seen. We've seen our share of tremors here as well. But look what happened here in Tyrons, Arkansas today, this morning. Okay? This morning, just after approximately 4:24 a.m. this morning, 2.8, 2.9 earthquake. Tyrons, Arkansas. Then what happened after 7 a.m. this morning? What happened after 7 a.m. this morning? (7:09). 7:09 Central Time this morning. Tyrons, Arkansas. 3.2, 3.3 earthquake. 3.2, 3.3 earthquake here, Tyrons, Arkansas. But it doesn't stop. On the red line beneath that, more 2.5s, more 2.8s. Yes, we have had some 3.0 earthquakes here after 7:15 this morning. 7:17, 7:18, 7:20, 7:21. You can see what I'm saying here. Then after 8 a.m., the same thing. 9 a.m., the same thing. 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Look at all these 3.0 earthquakes. Look at all these 3.0 earthquakes, guys. It's never ending. The people in Tyrons, Arkansas, and the surrounding community felt the ground move here for nearly 2 to 3 hours. 2 to 3 hours of the ground moving here. You felt it here in Tyrons, Arkansas, guys. The ground moved. Your furniture may have even crept along the floor line, along the floor in your homes, in your businesses. Yeah. The ground moved here for 2.5 hours. How about that? But that's not all, guys. It happened this afternoon as well. Look at this. Literally from 9:30 this morning until this afternoon, and maybe still happening. This may be still happening, guys. This is ongoing all day long here on the Madrid Fault. What am I saying here, guys? We are seeing the Madrid Fault open up. Constant shaking on the Madrid Fault. I never thought this would happen. I never thought this would happen on the Madrid Fault, at least for another year. It's happening now. What I'm showing you now is proof that the Madrid Fault is going to open up. And it may open up sooner than 2 years. By opening up, I'm saying a major 8.0 earthquake on the Madrid Fault. Fact. This is fact, guys. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. This happened today. This happened today, guys. No joke. This is happening up and down the fault. Now, guys, I want to go south. I want to go into Louisiana now. Now I am in southern Louisiana, over at DeRidder, Louisiana. Even here in southern Indiana, we are seeing tremors here on the southernmost side of the Madrid Fault. You're seeing it here first. This is continuing. This is continuing, guys. Does anybody understand what's going on here? I hope you get this. Carl Smith is here in our chat. He just said it's going to open up a lot sooner than that. Yeah. We could see the Madrid Fault pop possibly within this year, maybe next year. An 8.0 earthquake on the Madrid Fault. We are soon going to see a large 5.0 earthquake on the Madrid Fault. It's going to happen. This is going to happen. It's going to be a sad day when that happens. Why? What's going to happen when we have a 5.0 large quake? What's going to happen here? We are going to have a bunch of scared people here on the Madrid Fault. Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, Illinois, Indiana, and Ohio, Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. This whole area is going to be devastated. This is the DeRidder, Louisiana seismogram here. Now, prior to about a week or so ago, we had one other seismogram to show you here in Louisiana. It's since been shut down. So this is the only seismogram we have left here in Louisiana, is DeRidder, Louisiana, and we are still seeing activity here in Louisiana. The whole fault is moving north to south. We are continuing to show you this. I'm not joking. I'm not joking. This is serious. This is very serious, guys. Let's go over to Barker Cemetery in Louisiana, or Mississippi. Barker Cemetery in Missouri. For the first time in over a year. For the first time in over a year, what are we seeing here? These are minor earthquakes. These are minor earthquakes, and yes, we're seeing some tremors as well. We've been seeing minor earthquakes and larger here. We've been seeing minor earthquakes here in Marcus Cemetery, Missouri, for the past year or so. Then all of a sudden, several months ago, we started seeing 3.0 earthquakes here at Marcus Cemetery. This is the first day we've ever seen minor earthquakes here since. This is the first time since. Yes, we've seen small earthquakes here, but never like this. These are minor earthquakes. 2.0, 2.4, 2.5 minor earthquakes. That's this morning. What happened this afternoon? This is this afternoon. We have not seen tremors like this at Marcus Cemetery ever. Never. But these minor tremors here are happening for whatever reason. We're also seeing 2.0 earthquakes here. So the minor earthquakes have not stopped. But today you're seeing more tremors here than ever before for whatever reason. Barker's Cemetery is moving. It's moving. Don't forget it. Please don't forget it. That's not all, folks. There's more. Missouri is a center part of the new Madrid Fault. Let's go over to Girardeau, Cape Girardeau. This is Cape Girardeau this afternoon. Look at this. This looks like Barker Cemetery again. The entire fault is moving. Renee Steffi's posting a flash flood warning. Renee Steffi's here in the chat. The National Weather Service out of Sacramento, California, has issued a flash flood warning for the desert area of California, Tahoma, California. Life-threatening flash flooding. If any of you live out in the central desert area of California, go to higher ground now. You have heavy rain and a flash flood warning in effect. Go to higher ground now. Don't take a chance on your family's lives. Go to higher ground immediately. Okay? This is no joke. Don Patoga is saying, wow, YouTube totally hides Ron. It's interesting they are doing that because YouTube doesn't like me. YouTube's hiding me. That's because YouTube does not want this information getting out either. The Democrat politicians are still in control of YouTube. And YouTube is run by Democrats in California. They don't want this information getting out. Why? Plausible deniability. Heaven's sakes, the new Madrid Fault's not going to go. Nothing's going on. This is a figment of our imagination. Over on Telegram last night, I belong to a group on Telegram. They questioned my validity here. They questioned my qualifications. Ron, you don't have degrees. Ron, you never attended college or universities. You've never attended classes at FEMA. Yes, I have 39 FEMA certifications. I have degrees that qualify me to talk about this, yet I'm still showing you what's going on. Yes, I do have qualifications. My qualifications date back to the late 70s. Yes, I have continued my education. You can't possibly do this job unless you continue to get educated, unless you continue to follow what's going on. I'm doing that. I'm showing you what's going on. I'm showing you what's going on. The new manifold is moving. It's moving in a big way, a real big way. Cape Girardeau this morning. Look at this. Cape Girardeau this morning. Look at all the tremors here. Yes, we had a couple minor earthquakes here as well. A 2.0 and 2.5 minor earthquake this morning. The 2.5, 2.6 hit just after 10, I want to say 10:07 a.m. this morning, 11:07 a.m. this morning. 11:07 a.m. this morning. We had a couple, it looks like we had a couple 2.0 earthquakes here as well. Unreal. But tremors all over Cape Girardeau as well. No, nobody's feeling these tremors. Nobody's feeling these minor earthquakes, but they happened on the center part of the new Madrid Fault. The new Madrid Fault is moving in a big way. Let's go over to Carton, Missouri. Carton, Missouri has had some minor earthquakes. They've had tremors for a long time. Today, you're seeing a bunch of tremors at Carton, Missouri. Carton, Missouri. That's this morning. Carton, Missouri this afternoon, the same thing going on. These are long duration tremor activity. Long duration tremor activity because the new Madrid Fault is moving. And it continues to move. It doesn't stop. These long duration tremor activities showing that the seismic signals are not stopping. The fault is entirely moving. It doesn't stop. Missouri again is the center part of the new Madrid system. The whole fault zone is moving. Guam, Missouri. Look what's happening here. Yes, we've seen our share of minor earthquakes here. We've even seen some 3.0 earthquakes here at Guam, Missouri before. Yes, we see at least one 3.0 earthquake, and all the rest of these are either tremors or minor earthquakes. Minor earthquakes 2.0 to 2.9. They're happening. It's happening. Guam, Missouri is moving. Let's look at Guam, Missouri this afternoon, right there. These are tremors. A couple long duration tremors here, but the rest of these are just tremors. Missouri's moving. It's moving in a big way. Kewaunee, Missouri. Kewaunee, Missouri is over on the north side of the new Madrid Fault. Look at this. Again, long duration tremors, culminating at least 2.0, 2.4, 2.5 earthquakes. Long duration tremor activity culminating in 2.4, 2.5 earthquakes here. Kewaunee, Missouri is moving. This is Quantico, Missouri this afternoon. Now, we've seen a couple 3.0 earthquakes here before. Look what happened today here on this blue line on the right-hand side. On the left-hand side, this will be 12:30 this afternoon. Over here on the right, this is 12:39, 12:40, 12:41, 42, 43, 44, and over on the right side, 12:45 on the green line. Yes, we're seeing a bunch of 2.9, 3.0 earthquakes here on the blue line on the right-hand side. Over here on the left, we're seeing 2.7 and 2.8 earthquakes. Continuing. Consistent. Then after 3 p.m. on this black line here, okay, we have tremors starting at 3:01, 3:02, 3:03, 3:04. Just before 3:05, the tremors began to be 1.3, 1.4. Then a minute later, we have a 2.5, 2.6 earthquake, minor earthquake. Then it goes back down to tremors again. And the tremors last for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 minutes. 5 minutes was the secondary quake. Yes, this was at least a 2.6, 2.3, 2.6, 2.8 earthquake here. Yeah. 2.6, 2.8 earthquake here. Was a lot larger because the seismograph was turned down. In this case, the seismograph was turned down. The secondary wave gave us the reading for that earthquake. 5-minute long secondary wave. We've spoken about secondary waves before in this program. It's moving. It's moving a great deal. Now, let's go to Matthews, Missouri. Actually, before that, let's go over to Marston, Missouri. Marston, Missouri. Look at this. Here in Marston, Missouri, we have nothing but tremors. And sometimes USGS will tell us on the map that Marston, Missouri had a tremor. Sometimes the EWO will admit a 2.3, 2.4 earthquake. Today, they're not even showing that. Not even showing that. Guys, here we're seeing constant tremors. And we have 2 instances of larger tremors here. Long duration larger tremor season here. But Marston, Missouri is moving. Marston, Missouri is moving. Look at this. Yes, we still have had consistent tremor activity here. But what happens after 1:30? It actually starts at 1:49. 1:49 over on the right-hand side on the, actually, that's not 1:49. 1:29 on the red line. A tremor. 1.6, 1.7 tremor. Then all of a sudden at 1:30, 2.9, 3.0 earthquakes for 40 seconds. 40 seconds, 2.9, 3.0 earthquakes. Back to back. Then after 2:30 again, on the green line here, or not green, on the blue line here. Go over here to the right. Okay. Approximately 1:44 this afternoon. 2.6, 2.7. Minor earthquake. Later, just before 2:43, we're seeing tremors, we're seeing minor earthquakes. 2.4, 2.5. Seconds later, we have a 2.8, 2.9. Then 2.4, 2.5 again. Then it dies out until approximately 2:46 p.m. this afternoon. More tremors, and then suddenly a 2.5, 2.6 earthquake happens again. Marston, Missouri is moving. It's just not tremors, it is minor earthquakes as well. And they did not show this earthquake on the new map. They did not show us this earthquake on the USGS new map. Not there. Why not? Plausible deniability that this is not really happening. It's a figment of our imagination, even though we have the seismograms to prove it. It's not our imagination, though. We're seeing it. We're seeing this happen. Let me show you Portagesville, Missouri this morning. Portagesville, Missouri this morning. Sorry, that wasn't Portagesville, Missouri this morning. This is Portagesville, Missouri this morning. Look at this. After 12:32 this morning, we'd had some tremors before that, right? Certainly. Then all of a sudden we have 2.0, 2.5 earthquakes here. Then it gets up to about 2.7, 2.8. Then we don't see anything happening until about 4:14, 4:15 this morning. At 4:14 on the right-hand side, we see some tremors. 1.3, 1.4 tremors. But after that, what happens after 4:15? The tremors go from just 1.5, 1.6 tremor, all the way up to 3.0 earthquakes. 3.0 earthquakes continue to hit this area for almost 3 full minutes. Nearly 3 full minutes of 3.0 shaking here. Yeah. The fault is moving here. Portagesville, Missouri is on the fault. It's on the northwest side of the fault. The whole place is moving. We go over to Portagesville this afternoon. Look at that. Yes, we have more tremors, we have more minor earthquakes, and more 3.0 earthquakes. This time, after 4:05 this afternoon, 1.0, 1.1, 1.4, 1.5 tremor, 2.0 earthquake, 2.7, 2.8 earthquake, 3.0 earthquakes. 3.0 earthquakes, guys. This happened after 4:05 p.m. this afternoon. 3.0 earthquakes happened for 1, 2, 3 minutes. Then it diminished to minor earthquakes. 2.4, 2.5 earthquakes after that. and then back to tremors. This is real, guys. It's just not one city or town, it's multiple. Up and down the entire fault. Missouri, Arkansas, Louisiana. The whole place is moving. I kid you not. St. John's, Missouri. Look at this morning. (10:15) this morning. 10:16. 2.4, 2.5 earthquake there. 10:18. 3.0 earthquake that lasted a little over 10 or 12 seconds. The whole fault zone is moving. St. John's Bayou, Missouri. What further evidence do you need than this showing you exactly what's going on? This is St. John's Bayou, Missouri this afternoon. Tremors and minor earthquakes here. Nothing more than nothing less. It's moving. It's moving. I kid you not. We are going to see a large, major earthquake on the New Madrid Fault within the next year and a half to 2 years. I don't think it will be much longer than that. What I've already shown you so far is evidence of that. Let me show you what is happening in Ridgely, Tennessee. This is over on the central east side of the New Madrid Fault in Tennessee. Ridgely, Tennessee. There is a federal penitentiary here, and that's where this seismograph is located. Tiptonville, Tennessee. We've seen earthquakes here before at Tiptonville. Today we're seeing nothing but tremors. Nothing more, nothing less. Let's look at Tiptonville this afternoon. This is Tiptonville this afternoon. Here we at least see some tremors and minor earthquakes here. Minor earthquakes here are happening after 12:15 on the left-hand side, on the right, on the red line. Then on the green line below that, 12:45 on the green line, we go over to 12:48, and we have our first 2.0 earthquake, minor earthquake. Then a couple minutes later, just a couple moments, not minutes, a couple moments later, we have a tremor, full-blown tremor. Then we have another 2.0 earthquake. A little more than a minute, another 2.0 earthquake. And you see these other earthquakes here as well. Tiptonville, Tennessee is on the east central part of the New Madrid Fault. The fault's moving. The fault's moving here. All up and down the fault line. Ridgely, Tennessee here. Ridgely, Tennessee, we've seen minor earthquakes here before, but all we're seeing here are tremors here in Ridgely, Tennessee. Nothing more than tremors. What's going on? Let's go to North Carolina. The center of the Atlantic plate is expanding. It's pushing the United States, Canada, Greenland, pushing the northern part of Mexico in a south-southwesterly direction. Mexico, the United States, and Canada are being pushed in a west-southwesterly direction. Yeah. Yeah. Let me show you something, guys. It's not just North Carolina. Virginia, too. Look at this. Talk about tremors and minor earthquakes here in Accomack, Virginia. All day long. The top line here is midnight last night. The bottom line here is 11:59 on the right-hand side. Literally all day long. And didn't stop. It didn't stop. This is Accomack, Virginia this afternoon. Tremors and minor earthquakes here. I'm not done. I'm not done, guys. Let's look at Mineral, Virginia. This is Mineral, Virginia this morning. None of this happened at all this afternoon. But this morning, Mineral, Virginia was moving. At first, all we were having were tremors, microquakes and tremors. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, 8:15, tremors. Then we come across here to approximately 8:20, 8:25. 8:25, we have our first 3.0 earthquake. Fascinating. Now, let's drop down to this next red line. Okay. And actually, that was at 7. That was at 7:20. 7:25. 7:25 was our first 3.0 earthquake. It lasted about 5 seconds, back to back. Over here on the right-hand side at 11:14, we had our second 3.0 earthquake here. That's just another second or two. Over here on the left-hand side, here we have 8:30, another 3.0 earthquake. 8:32, we have a minor earthquake, minor 2.0, 2.1. It's going, guys. Mineral, Virginia. I showed you Accomack and I showed you Mineral, Virginia now. Fascinating. Martinsburg, Virginia this morning. This is west of Virginia, Martinsburg, West Virginia. Look here. Started off early this morning. Started off with just tiny tremors at 3:15. 3:30. 3:32, we had a 2.0 earthquake. 3:33, we had our 3.0 earthquake. 3:36, we had another 3.1, 3.2. A little over a minute later, we had another 3.0 earthquake here. More tremors and more earthquakes here. Martinsburg, West Virginia, guys. It's not just the Virginia coastline or North Carolina coastline. West Virginia as well. No joke. No joke. Let's go up to a place called Sandy Mush, North Carolina. This is just west of where I live. Look here late this morning. We had tremors, and we had minor earthquakes, and we had 3.0 earthquakes here. Sandy Mush, North Carolina. Now, folks, in the past episodes of this program, I told you, in fact, let me bring up our webcam again. Actually, it's already up. Okay. In the past, I've shown you my water bottles here. When I have a water bottle and I see the bottle of water moving like you see it here, this indicates to me that we are having a tremor. Yeah, tremor. Right now, we're not having any tremors, but this morning we did. This morning here in Morganton, we had 1.2, 1.4 tremors going on. 3 years ago, we had a 4.5 earthquake that hit here just about 3 miles to the west of us, here in Morganton. How about that? A 4.5 earthquake hit in Morganton. They do. They do hit here. It's not the only one. Murphy, North Carolina this afternoon. Nothing but tremors here. Let's continue this in North Carolina. Pittsboro, North Carolina to the south. Look at this. We actually had a 3.0 earthquake here this morning. This happened at 5:07 this morning. 5:07 this morning, 3.0 earthquake here in Pittsboro, North Carolina. The rest of these are all tremors. Nothing but tremors here. Fascinating. The Mid-Atlantic Fault is expanding. The Mid-Atlantic Fault is expanding. That's why we're seeing earthquakes here on the East Coast. Let's go up to North Carolina to the north. Roper, North Carolina is on the coastline of North Carolina. Look what we're having here. For the most part, we're having tremors. But we're also having some minor earthquakes. Past episodes of this program, we had 3.0, 3.4 earthquakes here in Roper, North Carolina. You're seeing the seismic energy here. I've shown it to you over north of here in West Virginia, Virginia along the coastline, and now down here in North Carolina as well. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to burp in your ear. But it's happening, guys. It's happening. The Mid-Atlantic Fault is expanding, pushing on the eastern side of the North American plate. Roper, North Carolina this afternoon. Nothing but tremors here as well. One more slide here. Actually, a couple more. I'm going to show you North Carolina and Taylorsville. Taylorsville is about 45 minutes north of me. This is this morning in Taylorsville. Tremors and minor earthquakes here in Taylorsville, North Carolina. Nobody felt these. Again, they're tremors and minor earthquakes. Taylorsville, North Carolina, at the beginning of the day, early this morning, and later this morning. What happened here this afternoon? Look at this. More tremors this afternoon. Now, let me tell you this. Usually we only see tremors during a certain period of time here in Taylorsville. Usually it's mid-morning. Today we've seen it early in the morning and later in the morning and early afternoon. Tremor sequences have begun. They've begun. The tremor sequences are getting longer. We've already had 3.0 earthquakes here along the coastline of North Carolina and also Virginia. We've had minor earthquakes and tremors over in South Carolina as well. Let's look at South Carolina. This may not blow your mind because I've shown you South Carolina before. Blacksburg, South Carolina is a volcano. This is Blacksburg, South Carolina. A volcano. There's still a lot of activity at Blacksburg, but this is mild compared to what's happened here before. We've shown you a ton of tremors, we've shown you a ton of minor earthquakes, and we've shown you a ton of 3.0 large earthquakes. Blacksburg, South Carolina, this is minor. We may have had a 2.0, 2.5 earthquake early this morning just after midnight. But I think all the rest of these activity here this morning is just tremor activity. Nothing more than that. Let's look at Blacksburg this afternoon. Look at this. As I said before, we've seen tremor activity before. We've seen minor earthquakes here. What happened here after 2:15 this morning? What happened here after 2:15 this morning? I'm sorry, this afternoon. This is this afternoon. This is 2:23 this afternoon. This is a 3.2, 3.3 earthquake. Blacksburg, South Carolina, at a volcano. Blacksburg, South Carolina, at a volcano. No joke. Now, Renee Steffi first pointed this out a couple years ago. Ron, isn't Blacksburg a volcano? Yes, it is. I looked into it further, and yes, it is a volcano. South Carolina. How about that? But that's not all, folks. There's more. How about Scranton, South Carolina? Look at this. Nothing but tremors here in Scranton, South Carolina. Scranton, South Carolina this afternoon, the same thing. We've had minor earthquakes here in Scranton before, but today it's nothing but tremors. But what I'm going to show you goes further than that. Sumter, South Carolina this morning. We've shown you minor earthquakes, 2.0, 2.8 earthquakes in Sumter, South Carolina. Today you've seen a bunch of tremors here. But here this morning, we had two 3.0 earthquakes. Two 3.0 earthquakes. The first one struck at 10:47 a.m. this morning. The first one struck at 10:47 a.m. this morning. The second one struck at 11:17 a.m. this morning. Look at that. Sumter, South Carolina. Now, the interesting thing is this. We've all seen on the USGS map and in the news media, they've been talking about Lugoff, South Carolina, Sumter, South Carolina, and one other town here. I don't even remember the name of the town. That town is located right next to Sumter. So we are still seeing earthquakes here in Sumter on, guess what? Where's this at? The foothills of the Blue Ridge Mountains, the foothills of the Eastern Continental Divide. That's what's happening here. 3.0 earthquakes here in South Carolina on the Continental Divide. How about that? It's happening. Again, the middle of the Atlantic plate is expanding, pushing on the eastern side of the North American craton, which is causing earthquakes here on the Eastern Continental Divide. All over South Carolina, all over North Carolina, all over Virginia, West Virginia. But it doesn't stop here. Let's go south to Georgia, Calhoun, Georgia. Look at this, guys. Look at this, Calhoun, Georgia. Yesterday, we've seen some minor earthquakes. See here at the top of this diagram? After 1:30 this morning, minor earthquakes. 2.0, 2.5 minor earthquakes. Just after 4 a.m. this morning, 3.0 earthquake. 4:02 a.m. this morning, a 3.0 earthquake. Then more minor earthquakes here. Calhoun, Georgia to the south. Up and down the entire North American plate. Virginia, West Virginia to the west, North Carolina to the south, South Carolina now into Georgia. We're seeing the seismic energy. Calhoun, Georgia this afternoon. More tremors. Let's look at Savannah, Georgia. Look at this. More tremors here. Nothing but tremors. We have seen minor earthquakes, 2.0 to 2.9 minor earthquakes here in Savannah before. Now we're just having tremors here in Savannah, Georgia. Savannah, Georgia this afternoon. Not just tremors, but minor earthquakes here. 2.0s to 2.5, 2.6 earthquakes this afternoon. Savannah, Georgia. It's happening. It's happening. Waverly Hall, Georgia. Look at this. 2.4, 2.5, 2.7. And this last one here on the right-hand side is just about 3:14 a.m. this morning. 3.0 earthquake. 2.9, 3.0 earthquake this morning. Waverly Hall, Georgia. Up and down the coastline. 1,000+ mile trip from Georgia to Virginia. It's happening up and down the fault line. It's moving. Sleeping Volcano has a wrench on her old iPad. That's awesome. Bless your heart, Sleeping Volcano. I'm so glad to see you. Yes, you still have your wrench. I haven't taken away. I'm not going to. Sleeping Volcano is one of my dearest friends. Sleeping Volcano runs a Facebook Messenger group called Quakes and Volcanoes. If you're on Facebook Messenger, look up Quakes and Volcanoes and then ask to join. We'll bring you in. We will bring you in. Sleeping Volcano does a magnificent job of tracking earthquakes on the Quakes and Volcanoes. Renee Steffi and Hurricane Heather have a weather channel called Space and Weather. You can go over there and monitor the weather as well. They do a bang-up job there. Hurricane Heather and Renee Steffi do a bang-up job there. So please join us there. We'd appreciate to have you. Do we have any questions from anybody here? Renee Steffi's also talking about blowing dust advisory issued today near Elko, Nevada. Near Elko, Nevada, you have blowing dust, winds of upwards of 40 miles per hour. Okay? Humboldt County, northern Elko County, blowing between 1/4 and a mile of blowing dust. It's a wall of dust, literally a wall of dust, guys. I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen in Utah. I've seen it happen in Colorado as well. That's going on now. Nevada has it more, and even California's had blowing dust advisories before. Do we have any questions here? I appreciate all of our mods here. We have Nova Scotia Rich here. We have Hurricane Heather here. We have Renee Steffi here. We have Sleeping Volcano here. We have Demon Catman here. That's awesome. That's awesome. We love and appreciate each and every one of you. Now, I want to give some recognition to Demon Catman. Besides him giving me a meme here, okay? Spontaneous combustion converse. Thank you for that, Dean. Appreciate it. But you need to also know, Dean lives in the east of England. It's the middle of the night there. It's probably about 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning in the east of England. So, Dean, I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you losing sleep and being here. You're awesome. Dean just says Sleeping Volcano will get the password off the old one for YouTube and sign in. I hope you can do that. That would be great. Michael Kearney is here. Michael Kearney, thank you for being here, brother. Michael Kearney just gave us 5 EMA memberships. 5 EMA memberships. Scott Kitchell, Roberta Singer, Alicia Gower, and Trying to Survive got our 1-month memberships here. If you got a 1-month membership, thank Michael Kearney for that. We appreciate you guys. Guys, we love you very much. That means a great deal to us. Michael Kearney, thank you so much. My buddy Canadian Patriot from Quebec, Canada is here. Bless your heart. No, Canadian Patriot, you're not sliced bread. You're better than that. Maybe you're the whole loaf. Canadian Patriot 1 is also one of our moderators here. Thank you for being here. I love and appreciate you all. I really do. You guys are the greatest. Now, does anybody have any questions? Does anybody else have any questions here? Michael Kearney just gifted 5 more memberships here. Gifted God's Favorite here. Carol Porch here. Jeanette Warwick. Kimpo Seablaze got a 1-month membership. Awesome. And Sherry Ann. If any of you have received 1-month memberships, please thank Michael Kearney for that. God bless you, Mike. You're awesome. You're totally awesome. I don't know what we do without our members here. I don't know what we do without our mods either. You guys are awesome. I want to welcome all of our new members as well. Renee Sevi just said, welcome new members. I want to welcome everybody here. Please, guys, if you've been here watching or listening to this program, share it out. Share far and wide. When you share it out, ask those people, your friends and neighbors, to share it out and join here as subscribers to our program. This has nothing to do with me. This has absolutely nothing to do with me, but it has everything to do with making sure your friends, your neighbors, your relatives, your extended family, everybody has access to up-to-the-date emergency and disaster information, because that's exactly what you're going to get on this channel. Tomorrow morning, about 10 a.m., we're going to do another members-only meeting. So be here, be square. I would love to see 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 members here for a members-only meeting. About 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. Thank you for being here, guys. We love and appreciate you. My buddy Linda Covington is also here. Linda has been here as a staunch member of our program. Linda's been here as one of my best friends here. She's gone through a lot of health issues, and she's still here with us. So I recognize Linda Covington as well, one of my dearest friends. Michael Kearney, you whippersnapper, just gave another 5 members here. Penny Wyckoff, Some Kind Angel, Pamela Smith, and Pearl also received 1-month memberships. Michael Kearney just gave 15 memberships here to our program. Those of you that have received memberships, please thank Michael Kearney for that. Thanks, Michael. God bless you. That's awesome. God bless you. Michael says, praise the name of Jesus, our loving Father. I agree. Now, as I've done before, this is the end of our program. At the end of our program, I typically give a short devotional or sermon. That's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to go over to 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16. 1 Timothy chapter 3, verse 16. And without controversy, great is the mystery of godliness. God was made manifest in the flesh, justified in the spirit, seen of angels, preached unto the Gentiles, believed on in the world, and received up into glory. Let's praise Jesus Christ. Let's worship Jesus Christ. Let's thank our Father in heaven for Jesus Christ, the Son of God, the everlasting Father, the King of Kings, Lord of Lords. Thank everybody for being here. We appreciate you all for being here. Demon Catman just put our email address up here, rltnspdema@gmail.com. You see it down beneath on the bottom of the screen here. Also, our address is here, 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here is 28655. Today we received a letter from Trish and Rich Killian. Trish and Rich Killian sent us a letter. They also sent us a donation here. I want to read their letter for you, because this letter is not just for me, it's for you as well. I am sending along my prayers and all good wishes to you and the EMA family. Rich and I agree the work you do here is vital, and it needs to continue to educate us and bring in new friends to the channel. We wish we could give more, but we give as we can in friendship as well. God bless you and EMA. Thank you for that, Trish and Rich. We appreciate that very much. They're from Mesquite, Nevada. So thank you for that. That's the first letter and donation we've had here to our post office box here in quite some time. We appreciate that. Those of you who want to send us a letter, you can do it to 504 Bethel Road, Box 401, Morganton, North Carolina. The zip code here, again, is 28655. You can also send us a donation to our PayPal that's also going across the bottom of your screen here. We'd appreciate that as well. God bless you all. May God be with you this day and always. My buddy Don Patoga is also here, one of my greatest friends. I met Don some 8-10 years ago. He's a great man. I love him to pieces. A great friend and brother. I love all of our mods here. Please, guys, send your cards and letters to us, and you can insert inside the letter. You can fold the letter in here and put a donation inside the letter and send us to us. It gets here. It gets here. You do that same thing with a card. We used to get cards and letters all the time, and now we don't get much. But we appreciate what we get. May God bless you. May God be with you this day and always. God be with you until we meet again. We'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for our members only meeting here on EMA on YouTube.